I'm going to be talking about Sun Summit Minerals. So we're a discovery stage exploration company with our flagship project, Central British Columbia. Here's some cautionary notes about forward-looking statements that I will be making, so please do your own due diligence. So our flagship Buck project, it's a bulk tonnage gold, silver, and zinc property in Central British Columbia. We've intersected hundreds of meters of near-surface mineralization, over a gram per ton gold equivalent, and it's yet open at all directions. The property has great infrastructure and access. We can drive right to the drill rig. And as well, we've been very active the past few months. So we have an ongoing field exploration program. We've flown geophysics, and as Eric mentioned, we've just started a drill program. We're also fully funded, and we have exploration dollars to spend in the ground. So the Buck project, it's located on 33,000 hectares, just south of the town of Houston, British Columbia. And so that really sets Buck apart, is the amount of existing infrastructure that we have here. The Yellowhead Highway goes right through town, so we have road, power, and rail. This really gives us an advantage as we can drive right to the drill site, and as well as a considerable cost savings in terms of exploration. It's in a great mining-friendly region, so there's a lot of formerly producing mines as well as active exploration projects. So we have Equity Silver Mine just to the east, and as well Huckleberry Copper Mine to the southwest. In terms of active exploration, there's a lot of players in the area, so for copper, silver, and as well gold. So great mining-friendly region, great accessibility. Going into the Buck main target itself, which is where we've done most of our drilling, it's a large hydrothermal system. So most of the rocks are defined by breccias and volcanic rocks. And the mineralization we see here is mostly disseminated mineralization. So we're seeing several hundred meters of this gold, silver, and zinc disseminated mineralization right from surface. A lot of holes end in mineralization as well. And this disseminated mineralization, it's more of a bulk tonnage style. So we're using the Blackwater Gold Project as a geologic analog that has a proven and probable reserves of 8 million ounces at 0.75 gram per ton gold. So we're seeing very similar grades at Buck Main itself, and as well keeping in mind that Buck is unconstrained, it's open in all directions. There's also some higher grade that we intersected in small localized zones. So we have 1.5 meters of close to 50 gram per ton gold, as well as 0.5 meter of close to 250 gram per ton gold. And these are located within these broader zones of disseminated mineralization. So it's a very complicated system. There's been a lot of fluid pulses and fluid phases. Everywhere has been pervasively altered. We don't yet know the limits of the mineralized system, and so in the current drill program, we're going to be focusing initially on the west to test the strike extent of some of this mineralization we discovered last fall and also in this spring through drilling. But as well, there's other targets within Buck Main that we'd like to look at, specifically in the north. There's a lot of disseminated mineralization. It's really underexplored. And then as well, there's other potential targets on the property that we'd like to drill. Quickly having a look through a long section, so this is facing north. You can see these long continuous intercepts of the disseminated mineralization on the right or on the east. So several hundred meters there of 0.5 gram to 1 gram per ton gold. And when you factor in our gold equivalent, which also includes silver and zinc, we're getting over 1 gram per ton gold equivalent. You can see towards the center we have some of those smaller localized zones of higher grade, but they're located within these broader zones of the more disseminated mineralization. And so as mentioned, we're going to be focusing on the west initially for our current drill program, and then step out from there. So taking a look over time, we've been very successful at finding additional mineralization every time that we step out. So we optioned the property in July of 2019, and since the spring of 2020, we've had 5 drill campaigns. So we've drilled 75 holes for just over 27,000 meters. We've been quite successful at finding additional mineralization. It's quite cohesive and continuous, which is really great. And you can see the last drill program we did last in the spring on the right with the 75 holes, you can see we're up to 1 kilometer of strike length. So that's pretty sizable. And as well, we're going to be focusing on the west initially with this current drill program, and then probably do some infill and step out as well. Most of our focus so far, however, has been on property-wide exploration. So we had a news release in August to say that we applied for and were granted a property-wide exploration permit. So this allows us to explore elsewhere on the property. Previously, we were just drilling around the Buck Main zone, but this is really a game changer for Sun Summit. We now have the ability to drill elsewhere on the property. So one of the first things we did is we flew a VTEM geophysical survey over the entire property. There's not a lot of outcrop here, and so we really need some additional exploration data in order to be able to get and define some drill targets. From the VTEM data, we planned a surface exploration program, so all those black dots are some soil and silt samples that we were taking. This program is still ongoing. We have additional areas that we'd like to sample. And as well, we have some ground IP geophysical surveys planned over Irk and Eagle Eye. So what's important to remember is really that we don't have a lot of outcrop here. So we do rely on these different data layers and different exploration techniques in order to get an idea about what the underlying geology is actually doing. And this will help us to delineate potential drill targets. As mentioned, the property is quite large, so we have 33,000 hectares. So there's a lot of exploration upside and a lot of targets to test. In terms of share structure, we're in pretty good shape. We have just under 77 million shares outstanding. We did a $6 million financing in March of this year, so we're in a good place financially. Currently we're sitting at about a $20 million market cap, and we have about 11% insider ownership. Quickly going over management and directors, I'm very lucky to work with Bob Willis, who was our CEO up until June. He stepped down and he's now very active in the company as senior advisor. We also have Tukey Angus as our chairman. And as well, we have a very strong technical team. So I mentioned we were using Blackwater Gold Project, which is now owned by Artemis Gold, as a geologic analog. And we're lucky to have Dr. Christopher Leslie on our technical team, and he was part of the discovery team of Blackwater. So he's been pivotal in guiding our exploration strategy. And as well, we're using Equity Exploration out of Vancouver for our project management. So just to recap, we're in a very mining-friendly region, great access and infrastructure, year-round access. We can drive right to the drill rig. We've been pretty busy the past few months. We've just started our current drill program at Buck Main, doing some step-outs, infill drilling, and then as well, we have other targets on the property package that could be drill-ready within this program. We're going to be starting a IP survey over 2 of these targets, and as well, we're continuing sampling and mapping throughout the property. So we're going to have a lot of exploration news flow, and hopefully see a continuation of some of this positive momentum. So thanks very much for listening.